Hey guys, EBPMAN here. Now in today's video, we're going to take a look at smart lock technology that's going to secure your front door or any door in your home that has a deadbolt. Now we're going to take a look at a product that we reviewed quite some time ago, but this is an upgraded version. And I review a lot of products on the channel, a lot of smart locks, and this one's still on my door. So we're going to be upgrading it, and this is the Deadbolt Pro Wi-Fi Smart Deadlock. This is an upgraded version. It now has Wi-Fi built in. So let's go ahead and check it out. Now previously on the channel we reviewed the Deadbolt Pro, but this is an upgraded version of it. And again, it's on my door still today. And as we take a look at it, there's several things that you'll notice here. First of all, it's a very simple design. One of the smallest locks that we reviewed on the channel has now built-in Wi-Fi, and that's the big difference with the previous version. Has Bluetooth, it does support a mobile app, and it also has a fingerprint sensor. Very small, and it has some really cool features. The first thing is you can have multiple users in the actual lock. And we actually have it, and you can have temporary users. We've done this before. I've granted access to my home to family and friends to be able to come in, maybe if they're house watching and stuff like that, you can do that. Or if you have a rental, this really works really well. You also see a log of everyone that's on, and it is compatible, again, with your Alexa, your Google devices. It uses IFTT, so it has a lot of flexibility and a lot of security of what you would expect. And it does have a battery solution that you have, and the battery lasts pretty long. We've used this again for over a year now on our door, and I maybe have changed the battery maybe about 3 to 4 times, you know, and this is with all the entry and exit taking place, and we have ours auto locking. So let's take a look at what's inside the box. We'll see what's included, and then I'll show you my installation. Now in the box you get your fingerprint sensor or your pad, and you can see this right here, right? This basically gets connected to the front of your door, and this is the part that's going to be facing outward. You do have then this mechanism here, right? This box is where you would put your batteries, so you can see that right there. So that's where your batteries are. And then what you have are some batteries that it includes, some bolts that you use to tighten things up. Again, this is the deadbolt itself. And then you have a set of keys. Yeah, you get some backup keys just in case your finger doesn't work, right? You even get a screwdriver so that you have literally everything that you need to install. The only thing that you don't have in this kit is if you have to bore a hole in your door, like it's one of those doors that is not already, doesn't have the cutout, you don't have that here, but you have everything else that you need to get this installed. Now installing the Deadbolt Pro is extremely simple, and since I had a previous version already installed, it was just as simple as just removing 2 screws just to replace it. So here you'll see my older version. It's a little bit more worn than the previous version. Just took this off, and disconnecting it was pretty much a snap. Literally, all I had to do is remove these 2 screws here. This is the base that has the actual batteries in it. This came off. Then I removed this plate and replaced it with the new plate. Removed the actual fingerprint sensor, which was what is on the outside, and then just reconnected everything. Now, one of the things that this version actually brings that I just wanted to highlight is that it also has a door sensor. So when the door is open, it's basically going to let you know if the door is open. It has a little sensor, and you see this right here in this shot. Now that door sensor works really cool because what ends up happening is that if your door is open, the auto lock feature doesn't kick off, which is super cool for me. You'll notice on my door I have a little piece of felt there. That little piece of felt is a furniture felt, like for the bottom of a stool or something, or a chair, so that it doesn't rub the wood floor. And I put that out there because my kids would always leave the door open, and then the deadbolt would come out, and then if someone went to close the door and they didn't notice that the deadbolt was open, it would just hit the wood over and over and over again. With the new sensor, the behavior has changed. What I noticed is that if the door is open, the door will not lock until it's closed. So it knows now that the door is open. So you get a notification letting you know that the door is open. You see it on the app itself, and then the lock does not pop out. You know, the deadbolt doesn't come out until the door is closed. Now, as soon as you close the door, it's fast. You see the deadbolt kicks into place when you have that auto feature. Now, as you can see on the deadbolt itself, you do have the fingerprint sensor. It's really easy. I typically like registering at least 2 fingers. I do my thumb and my finger, and I sometimes do my other hand, so that would be 3 fingers. But in the event that you do, let's say the fingerprint doesn't work, you do have an included key that you can use, and you can see here there's a hidden area where you can actually insert a key to open the door. Now for those of you curious about what the key looks like, it's a pretty standard key. It's not one of those heavy duty, or I would say secure keys that we've seen on some of the other locks that can't be copied. So this is a standard key that you can copy. You can actually give a copy to someone to come in manually, and keep in mind that the access, everything will be tracked as well. Now the app experience is very slightly different from the one that I had before, because it really only has a few features that I didn't have, namely that door sensor. But as we can see here, you have a couple things going on here. Here's a picture of my door lock, and then you can lock, you can see people, you can see settings. If I were to go into the people area, what you'll see is these are all the individuals that are part of my locking system. So I have a total of 4 users. And as I take a look at any specific user, what I can do is I can see the number of fingerprints that they have, 1 to 2 fingerprints, if not more. You also have a password, and the password, that dial, allows you to key in the numbers, so it gives you the ability to do that. And then you could actually access it with the app. Now the app also has a log that's going to tell you all the different access that you've had on the lock. So here it can show you that it's been auto-locked, if it was manually unlocked, and it will show you even those users that have gone through the door and used their fingerprint to access. Now setting up a user is pretty simple. All you have to do is choose the user type. You can have admin, a normal user, or a temporary user. And this is pretty cool because you can actually set out time zones, or this is great if you have someone who's house sitting, right? Or if you have family that's over for a holiday and you just want to give them some access so they can come in and out, and you don't want to worry about forgetting if they're there. So the admin, again, is going to have admin rights. The normal user is just going to be able to do the normal things. And then this one right here is your temporary one. We're going to try to set up a temporary one. And I'm going to put it as test, right? And I'm going to hit next. And then as soon as you set this up, the next thing that you got to do is you can start setting up the fingerprint. So as you're setting up the fingerprint, you're going to go fingerprint, you're going to press it a number of times, and it's going to actually light all the keys. It's going to go 1 and 2 will light up, it will beep, and I'll tell you when you need to remove your finger. Now you can do the rotating trick, so if you've seen any of our, let's say, our screen protector reviews and fingerprint sensor reviews for phones and other devices, you notice that you can rotate as well to get a better imprint. So what you can do is with every print, you can rotate your finger to make sure if you have groceries in your hand and you're grabbing it with an awkward angle, it's going to get the best print or every potential print angle so that you can open the door when you need to. Now the other thing that you can do is you can add a user code, and this code could be 4 to 8 digits, so if you want to use the keypad, that's like someone doesn't like using their finger, they could do that as well. Now in addition to emailing the guest the fact that they have access now, one of the things that you could do is you can set when does the access begin, and then when does the access change or end. And then you can actually set the times, right? So literally you can give someone access to your home and only say that they can come in at specific times during the day, as well as specific days as well. Now in the setting areas, there's a lot that you're going to see. You're going to see the MAC address, which I have mine covered right now, the time, the battery level, any kind of smart notifications, lock sounds, the status of the ultraloq. You could use Magic Shake to open up the door with your phone. You could do, determine the direction of the lock depending on what side of the door it is. Meaning if it's a right hung or left hung door. You have the auto lock features, which I have, and then you can also set up some auto unlock too, so that as you get closer to the door with your phone, that it does that as well. I have that off, I don't turn that on. You have Wi-Fi, you have a firmware version, and then you can go ahead and modify advanced features. But here's the door sensor piece that we were talking about, and here what you can see is you can say when the door is open, I want to get a notification, right, when it's left open, and then you can set the timing. The minimum that you can set is a minute. Now one thing I want to highlight is if the door is almost closed, partly open, meaning that, as you can see here, your deadbolt is somebody manually opened it and just put it like that way because they wanted to make sure it didn't auto lock. The system still thinks the door is locked. That's something that we tested out, and probably that's something that the ultraloq should look at changing, because if the door is not fully closed, the system should be able to detect that, but in my testing, it didn't. So guys, that wraps up our review of the UltraBolt Wi-Fi solution. Again, simplifies the installation by having Wi-Fi built in, so you don't need a bridge. Makes it super easy. See you in the next one.